You're listening to the Red Podcast.
This is episode number 8, and if you're wondering why you're not getting things done, it's distraction. Laurel has 8 common causes of distraction. She can help you with those to make sure you can get more done in less time and make more money. That's coming up on this episode of the Red Podcast.
This is the Red Podcast. Real entrepreneur development. Make more money. Work less and live a life of freedom. No BS advice that really works. Here's your hosts, David Hooper and Laurel Staples.
So David, I've been writing my book, and I was writing the part on distraction today and what to do about distraction. And while writing it, I got distracted like 100 times.
Yeah, that'll happen when you're doing a book.
I just thought it was ironic to get distracted while you're writing about distraction. It was kind of like case in point. I wish I was videotaping this right now.
Yeah. A book brings out distraction and resistance in ways that I've never experienced it before.
It's kind of crazy. I mean, it's like it's something you have to meet every single morning. Every single morning since November, I've gotten
every paragraph you have to meet it.
Yeah, you have to meet it. I mean, it's waiting there for you on the computer every single day. And so I'm writing about distraction and all about it and what to do about it, which is what we're going to be talking about today. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should check my email. Oh, I got to get my phone. Oh, and I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, I've got a program that it makes it so you can't use your internet.
Which program do you use?
The name of it, Laurel.
There's one called Self-Control.
I've used Self-Control. Yeah, I think that is it. I don't have it. I've got 2. One of them is just for social media. I guess that's not really helpful, is it?
Not as helpful.
No, but you know what I had to do with the last book that I read? I bought...
That you wrote or that you read?
Sorry, I wrote it.
Okay, there's a big difference there.
A huge difference. The last book that I wrote, to get through it, I actually bought a separate computer and had to have a separate... I cleared out a space in my house. Separate room. All it was a desk and a computer. And I would go in there. All I would do was work on the book. There was no phone. The computer wasn't even hooked up to the internet.
See, what do you do when you have to look something up on the internet?
Well, you got to
go to your other
and use
computer.
your other computer. Yeah, make it. I mean, it's not to completely eliminate the internet, but it was to make it more difficult to me to use it.
Sure.
It's like freezing your credit cards.
I've never done that.
If you got an issue with spending, freeze your credit card, throw it in a block of ice. That way you can get to it if you need it, but it's not that easy.
And I've never gotten one of those apps before. I'm actually, I talked about, how I'm getting distracted on my book, but I'm actually pretty good with distraction, better than I've been in the past. So it's a constant battle, I think.
Yeah, I think especially when you're doing really heavy work, and a book is certainly that. A book is like, somebody described it, a blog post would be like a sandcastle, and a book is like a shopping mall that's 40 stories tall.
A skyscraper.
There
are no shopping malls that are 40 stories tall that I'm aware of.
Maybe in the suburbs Anyway.
Yeah, we don't live in the suburbs, so we don't know.
We're in the city, man.
We don't know what's in the suburbs. There might be really crazy shopping malls with Macy's on every floor right beside a Starbucks. We don't know.
Yeah, we just have high-end condos all around us. That's the closest thing we got to that.
Exactly. Well, let's talk about distraction. Let's kind of break it down. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, because if you've got the key to it, which you obviously don't because you were talking about being distracted, but
I'm a guinea pig. I'm trying to write about it and then figure
out. Well, there are things that we have
to
put into use all the time, even the best people do, and this is one of them. We fight distraction, we fight resistance all the time, especially when we're working on a big project.
We'll talk about resistance. Kind of define that. Because that's a term, I think Stephen Pressfield brought that term really to life. So explain that a little bit.
Distraction could be a form of resistance. It's basically whatever it is that doesn't allow you to get your work done as easily as you could.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a speed bump.
And I think Stephen Pressfield says, like, the more you're meant to do something in life, the more you have a calling to create something or do something or be something, the more the resistance is trying to hold you back from being that or becoming that or doing that.
Yeah, that's been my experience. I know that I'm doing what I need to do when I start needing to take naps, even after like a good 8 hours of sleep.
Mm-hmm. Because it's exhausting.
It's exhausting. Even just sitting in your chair uses a lot of brain power. I would rather go out and do physical work.
And that's why so many people say, oh, I'm going to write that book, or, oh, I'm going to start that business. And the resistance just gets in the way, and it gets pushed back and pushed back. I mean, some days I wake up to my book and I'd rather do anything than write it.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to face it. And that's kind of the resistance coming out.
Yeah.
And distraction to me is like a symptom of underlying resistance. Like sometimes it's just you're distracted because you're in an environment of distraction, and sometimes it's like that deep-rooted resistance holding you back.
Well, it's not just writing the book. I think we're talking about that just because you're in the middle of writing one. But
Exactly.
I remember writing my last one. I couldn't wait to market it. Then when I was marketing it, I was like, man, it sure would be nice just to sit down and write.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's anything.
The grass is greener.
Yeah, the grass is greener. And when you're doing something that's scary, it's scary to put your feelings out there, and it's hard work to certainly do it in an organized manner. It's tough to put whatever you wrote out there where people can criticize it, and they do. Not everybody's going to love what you do. So there's just a lot involved, a lot of moving parts of distraction that you've got to work around. So let's talk about working around them, because you've got some great ideas for that, and you're right in the middle of it, so you can tell me how well they're working for you.
Well, I want to go back and define what they really are. You know, what are the causes of distraction? Because, I mean, what do you think of? Like, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when I say distraction? Did you get distracted? What comes to your mind?
Well, for a lot of people, it's a phone.
Like, for you, what is it?
For me?
Yeah, you. We're talking to you. Like,
What do I get distracted by?
Yeah.
Basically
what comes to
everything.
mind?
Everything.
Everything.
Well, it could be going to look at Twitter.
Yeah.
It could be, hey, I want to go hit the gym all of a sudden. It could be.
I don't think that's a distraction for
I think
most
I'll take the
people.
dog out, but it can be. It could be anything, even if
It
it's
could
something
be.
that's good for you.
No, it totally could be.
It's whenever you're not doing what you should be doing.
But I think when I think of distraction, like right off the top of my head, I think of social media, I think of email, and I think of texting, and those are definitely included.
Yeah.
But I think it goes a lot deeper than that, and I believe there are 8 common causes of distraction, actually. And I would say those are environmental, so that's going to be your environment, what's around you. Is there clutter around you? Is there background noise? Phones ringing, you know, what's going on around you? Communication, those can be distractions. Social media, phone calls, texting, email, internet, how you communicate with people.
Your availability. That's why my phone is always off. I didn't even know that the ringer had broken on my phone for a long time.
When it's on, it doesn't even ring now.
Yeah, which is great for distraction.
Yeah, it's great. I think another thing is entertainment distraction. That's going to be your television, podcasts, books, movies, internet videos, things like that. One distraction that I have is stat checking. And I don't think you do this as much as I do, David. Like,
No.
I check... No, you do. I check Google Analytics for my blog.
Well, the one thing I know what you're going to say, I do check Amazon
You check
sales
Amazon,
rank
yeah.
for the last book, just to see how it's doing, just to keep an eye on it. But Google Analytics is far worse. I think we can both agree on that.
Well, it's like checking your bank account every couple minutes. It's like, well, that doesn't increase your bank account number if you check it. And
I'm just teasing you, but either one of them, you can feel really bad about yourself.
Yeah.
Because it shows the work that you're doing isn't reaching out to as many people as you want it to be. I mean, even Yahoo feels bad for being the number 2 site to Google. It's like, oh, damn it.
Well, exactly. And I think when you do things like that, it's like, oh, you're working along, you're doing what you should do, and then, oh, I should check my Google Analytics or my Amazon ranking or the stock market or fantasy football, whatever. stat checking is like a major distraction. So I've been through 4. What are the other 4, David?
Well, I think a lot of technology is a big issue. The fact that we're so accessible, and that could be, I mean, these are all kind of mixing up into a big distraction soup, aren't they? But I think phone is a big one, because not only is our phone a phone, our phone is also text messaging. It's really a computer. It's games. It's everything. And I miss the days when I was traveling, and it wasn't that long ago, but back in the late 90s when I had first started my company, I was traveling around, and I had like a calling card. You couldn't just call people, right? So I would have to look for a payphone and check in, and it was on the calling card, and it was a little bit of work. And nowadays, anybody can check in anywhere in the world.
And you miss those times with the calling card?
Yes, because I'm so accessible. I can't get away. Well, here's the deal. Is you used to be able to just be like, hey, going out of town. Yeah, I'll be back in 10 days. Nobody could get you. And these days, not only can they get you via phone, they can get you via text message, they can get you via email. There are expectations for people that you're going to get back to them. So I think you need to set those expectations that will help you with distraction. And for right now, I know for you, you're like, hey, I'm in writing mode. If you're calling, it may be a few days before I get back to you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I mean, don't expect an instant response. I think that's just bad. I think it's like these mice on crack. You ever seen those experiments where they give mice some kind of drugs and they just go crazy pushing the buttons? And I think we can get that way because of technology. So I would say that technology is a huge distraction issue. I think behind a lot of those technological communications, people, you and I really don't have that issue. We work by ourselves. But
you're very distracting.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, we distract each other a lot.
I have a couch in my office, and it's like a good place for you and for the dog.
Yeah. And the way we have our office set up, just real quickly, we have a house that I think is about 3,200 square feet, fairly large for 2 people, so I've heard. And I basically have the upstairs, and you've got the downstairs, but I have to come downstairs like to leave. And that opens
and to eat and
and hungry, getting hungry is a big distraction. But
that's true.
It opens the doors, if you will, for a lot of conversations. And I was working on a project earlier today, for example, a writing project where I had to ask you questions, and that's distraction. And I can't just email you and wait for the answer. I'm just going to march right down to your office and say, Laurel.
And don't get me wrong, it's distracting that you want to talk to your partner, or you want to be with your kids or your friends or your coworkers. So it's not like they're bugging you. It's that you're ready for a break from whatever you're doing, because whatever you're doing is hard if you're doing what you should be doing. And somebody coming in to talk to you, it's just so easy to get distracted, and you almost crave that distraction. It's like, oh, you come down the stairs and sit on my couch. I'm like, yes, I don't have to write for a minute.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets tricky.
Yeah, I think that if you were to analyze most people in an office environment, there is a lot of conversation that's not work-related going on, a lot. And one time, this is when I was working outside. I'd worked from home for a number of years, and I just kind of got over it. I was like, I need to step this up. Got myself an office, and I had workers working for me, and I actually got them a separate office. This is my music business career. One end of Music Row, I had my office. The other end, their office. So it wasn't easy for us to get to each other because I had to be away from these guys. We had a large company at the time, and there were a lot of things going on, and as the boss, a lot of people were asking me questions that I wanted them to learn how to figure out themselves. So I think people are a huge one. And speaking of people, I guess that's another thing I think I want to add here is social events. A lot of people think that getting together for coffee or, hey, let's do lunch, that's what we always used to say in the music business, right? Networking events, you and I get invited to those all the time. We've got one coming up in a few days, and I had to ask you, do you really want to go to this? I mean, there's some benefits because of it, but if this is a 2-hour event, we've got to get there, we've got to get home, we got to get dressed for it. Like right now, I'm in some gym clothes, not really networking